All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm so freaking pumped up for this Zoom for one reason. Well, there are a lot of reasons, but the main one is because this girl, y'all, she is a powerhouse. And what I love is that she's not like super in your face. Like she's someone that has so much knowledge, but you don't hear from her all the time. And I'm just so excited that she's on with us tonight to teach us everything she has to know. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce or unmute you. If you want to go ahead and just share a little bit about your story, and then we'll hop right into questions.
Yeah, of course. Hi, guys. It's so funny that you said that I'm like not all out there. And it's so true. I'm just like, this business has definitely taken me way out of my comfort zone, but I'm actually like really shy, but I'm like coming out of my shell a little more. And I usually am quiet and have always been like that. But so my name is Nayara. I joined this business almost 6 years ago. It'll be 6 years in April. I'm 25 years old. When I joined this business, I was a broke college student. I was working 2 jobs. I was going to school full time. I was 19 years old. Like I was so young and just, doing the normal routine of the broke college student life, going to school. I was commuting at the time, so I was living at my parents' house still. So I was working 2 jobs, and then on the days that I wasn't working as a waitress and a receptionist at the hair salon, I was going to school every other day. So I was like really, really busy, but broke, and I was looking for a third job. But I'm like, how the heck am I going to manage a third job? Hold on one second. My dog wants to get done. Oh, no. How am I going to manage a third job while being so busy right now? And this business came into my life at the perfect timing. My best friend Cassie joined. We do everything together. And she's like, you just need to join, Nay. Like, you're broke. Like, what do you have to lose? Like, let's just do this together. And I was like, why not? $99 at the time. And I remember I was like, I don't have that. And she knew that, but she's like, why don't you just ask your mom? And that's what I did. I asked my mom, and my saint of a mother gave me the $99 to get started. And everything, like my life completely changed since I joined this business 5.5 years ago. So I joined in April 2015. July of 2015, I quit both of my jobs. I started doing this full time and have been full time at Works since July of 2015. I went Ruby in my first 30 days. I went Emerald in 60 and Diamond in 90 days. And I got the $10,000 diamond bonus that was being offered at the time. And this business has completely changed my life. I didn't join this business to be successful. Like I just joined and I was like, oh, I'll do it for a month. Like I'll make some money and then I'll quit. Like I just didn't think anything of it. I was 19 years old. I was so naive, so young. I didn't think big at that time. But quickly I saw success with the business and I'm like, wow, like I'm on my phone anyways. Like if I keep doing the same things over and over again. Okay. So I went Ruby in 30 days. So I had to build 2 rubies to go Emerald. Then I had to build 3 rubies to go Diamond. I'm like, okay, so just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And I'm just going to keep promoting. And that's what I did. And, I joined this business not knowing what this was. I didn't know what network marketing was. Like I always joke around and say, like, if this was a scam, I would have gotten scammed because I did no research. I joined. I was just ignorance on fire. I knew that right when I did see the vision, like when I caught it, when I went Diamond, like from there on out, like nothing was stopping me, like literally. And me and Cassie were talking about this the other day, like, it's almost like so much better to be that way and like just like bulldoze through things and not let things get to you. Like I almost wish myself now, 5.5 years later, was the same Nayara I was then, because it's like nothing got to me. No matter what, I was just going for it, and not that I'm not like that now, but it's like now I know so much, like I've been through so much, and things are different now. But ignorance on fire. I knew nothing. I just posted, I talked to people, I gave prices, I enrolled them, I filled out my charts, I did what I had to do. Nothing was getting in my way. So 3 years in, I promoted to ambassador. I was just announced in the Millionaires Club last year. And this is all within my 4 or 5 years in the business. I paid off my student loans. I dropped out of school. A year and a half into this business, I was like, school was never my thing. Like, if you knew me before it works, you knew that like I was just going because it's what I had to do. But school was never my thing. And when It Works came into my life, I finally had something of my own, like that I was actually passionate about, that I was actually good at, because I felt school was like never my thing. Like I was never good at it, never got good grades, never wanted to like do anything after school. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I dropped out of school, but still I had almost $50,000 in student loan debt. So I dropped out. I paid that within my 10 months. I was on a 15-year payment plan to pay that. So I used to think about it like, okay, so like I'll still be paying my student loans like when I have kids, when I have a family. Like that's insane, crazy. So I paid that off in 10 months, all because of It Works. I built my dream home at the age of 23. I pay for my mom's mortgage every single month. I give back to my church every month. And none would be possible without this business, because I was so freaking broke. And like I can't even imagine doing anything else other than It Works, and like the life I have lived within the past 5.5 years. And I'm here to tell you that it hasn't been perfect. Like, you'll sit here and hear me say like, oh, I did this, I did that. But like in between, there has been so many like life things happened. 3 months into my business, my mom got diagnosed with breast cancer. 2 years into my business, my parents got a divorce. I moved to Florida, then I moved back to Connecticut where I was born. So much life happened. Like I went through a breakup after being with my boyfriend for 5 years, and we built our dream house together. And then, we had to go through all that. But I'm here to tell you that if you stay the course with this business, and if you are consistent, and if you don't make excuses, because even though all that has happened in between and so much more, I never made an excuse as to why I couldn't show up for my business every single day. I always did. And the reason I truly believe I am where I am today is, one, because of God and the plan He has for me, and because I never gave up when times got hard. I always stayed consistent. I never made an excuse as to why I couldn't do something with my business. I mean, I probably like have not worked my business for like maybe like a couple days because I was like on a vacation because I couldn't be on my phone. But other than that, my business is always with me no matter what. So that's a little bit about my story. And I hope that I can share some tips with you guys tonight to really inspire you, and you guys can leave here tonight and just, take your business and really run with it.
Oh my gosh, I'm like so fired up already. I'm just so excited. So I didn't know that you promoted to Ruby in 30 days and Diamond in 90. And that's huge for right now. What's going on is there's a Ruby bonus for your first month and a Diamond bonus within your first 90 days. So walk us through what you physically did to make that happen. Because I know a lot of new distributors, when they start, they're like, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. I want to get that bonus. I want to go Ruby. I want to go Diamond. But like they look at the charts and they're so overwhelmed. What were your like daily things? How did you make that happen?
Yeah. So for me, I had a Ruby chart like with me at all times. Like I remember walking into the salon, walking into my waitressing job, like at school, like I had like a Ruby chart folded up in my back pocket or in my purse. Like I always had it with me. And I remember like that being like a constant reminder of like my goal. Okay, Ruby, Ruby, Ruby. And I'm very money driven. So at the time there was $1,000 Ruby bonus being offered. And I'm like, great. My 19-year-old self is like, I can make $1,000. Like I'm going to be rich. Like that's great. So that's what really motivated me to go Ruby. So at that time I was really busy. So I was still working and in school because that was my first month. So for me, I always say this, like I had a 9:30 class. I had to leave my house by 9 to get to my class at 9:30 because I commuted to school. So I had to be up at like 8. But with this business being in my life, 8 o'clock was no longer a thing. I got up at 7:30 to give myself 30 more minutes extra, just laying in bed and working my business. I planned out my posts. I did some follow-ups. I would send some messages out. I would check in with my current customers. At the time, there was no stories, no reels, no TikToks, nothing. So I just did the minimum, which was like posting once a day, like on your feed. So I would get my post ready to just have it in my drafts to just then click post and it would post. I did some follow-ups, and like, you don't need a lot of time with this business, guys. Like, I do this now full time from the second I wake up and the second I go to bed, and it fits into my life in between, of course. But when I joined, it was 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, bathroom break at work. Sometimes I would just need a breather from customer. So I would run into the bathroom and just relax, check my phone for a little bit, check my messages on my break at work. Instead of sitting there like talking and dilly-dallying with my coworkers, I had my phone in one hand and I was eating with like the other. And it sounds crazy. And it's like, sometimes people are like, at the time, they're like, okay, like you literally like don't do anything but work. But I'm like, no. Like, my ultimate goal was to quit the job. So I was like, if I can work this business and be tired and like drained just for a couple months, at the time I thought, okay, this is going to take me at least a couple months to replace my income, right? If I could do this for a couple months and so I can make this money so then I can quit those jobs and have more time, like I'm doing it no matter what. Little did I know, within like less than 2 months, I was able to do that after going diamond. So, you don't need a lot of time. The point is like, when I was going Ruby, I was just doing all the things in between little time slots that I had. I would go to bed later. I would wake up earlier. I was a big napper at the time. I gave those up. I stopped napping. I woke up early. I went to bed later. And like, those were things that I had to like sacrifice because I love my sleep. So I was like, crap, like I have to give that up if I want this to work, because I need that extra time after being at work all day or at school all day. So having my chart was like a game changer because it was constantly reminding me, okay, like this is what you need. This is what you have. I was always updating it. And guys, I did nothing special. Like I try to even think about like what I did, 5.5 years ago, but like, when I really sit and think, I did nothing special. I just the thing is that I made no excuses ever. Like I was busy, I was tired, I was exhausted, I was cranky. Like I hated the jobs I was at, but I was just willing to do whatever it took to make this work because I only needed a couple $100 extra a month to be able to quit those at the time. Like, I'm not saying go diamond, quit your job, because for me, it was very different. I was living at my parents' home still. So I had a home to live in. I was very blessed to be living with my parents for as long as I did and them taking care of me and all that stuff, and my jobs were paying me close to nothing. So diamond was like the goal I needed to feel comfortable to keep going forward, so I just did whatever it took. And I had my goals like constantly like in my head, like, okay, like just think about it. Like you're waking up earlier now for work, but like once you go diamond, like Saturday mornings at the salon at 7 a.m. won't be a thing anymore. You'll be able to sleep in. You'll be able to hang out with your family, with your friends. And that's just what kept me motivated and kept me going. Because at the end of the day, I can sit here and give you all the tips and the tricks, but like if you're not willing to put in the work and sacrifice certain things, like it's just not going to happen. And I'll never forget my mom, like she's so prideful and she like always tells people this, how much I sacrificed. And I don't like to say sacrifice, but I can't find a better word for it right now, but how much I sacrificed at the age of 19, 20, 21. And I let things go because I wanted this business to like, I wanted my dreams, my goals were way more important than doing certain things. And like, that's why I can say where I am now is because of those things that I did at that time. And I still do, but you just have to put the work behind it all, because if you don't, and if you don't believe in yourself and you don't have something that you're working towards, like, how are you going to keep going? Because for me, I'm very like goal driven. So I need something constantly that I'm working towards to keep going, because if I don't, then it's like, okay, what next? Like, well, what do I do now type thing. So I always tell my team, like, I am for sure red. So for me, I'm very money motivated. I'm motivated by goals and things like that. So that's what keeps me going. So whatever type of person you are, just think about it. If money's not your thing, great. If helping people is your thing, which is mine too, like that's a big reason why, like, I feel like my team asked me, okay, so after ambassador, what keeps you going? Well, it's for sure helping my team now, because, you know, what's the point of me getting to where I am, but without helping other people? So if helping people is something you love to do, great. Have a goal to help 10 people go Ruby within the next year, you know, or have a goal to help 10 people go diamond and make the income of the diamond chart can make within the next year. You know, have goals every day that you can work towards to keep you going, even when times get hard.
Yeah, it's so good. And I love that you said that. You can get all the tips and tricks in the world, but if you're not going to take it seriously and put the work in, it's kind of pointless. Like, you have to take it seriously. You have to have some short-term sacrifice. Even though it's not going to feel good now, you have to think about how it's going to feel in the future. What is this short-term sacrifice of getting up earlier, staying up later, getting rid of nap times, or like saying no to going out or whatever? What is that going to get you in the future? So somebody said, I have a bunch of questions. There was over 40, but I'm not going to ask you all of them. Don't worry. Somebody said, what tips would you give someone who is in a promotion month and they keep going back and forth on their belief?
So they're in a promotion month and they're just going back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Well,
at the beginning of the month, they were like, okay, we're so going to go diamond. And then like every other day, they're like, okay, we can do it. Maybe not. Okay, we can do it. Maybe not.
okay. But why can't you do it? That's the thing. Like, you know, like what is really stopping you from going diamond? Like what is? It's just yourself. You know, for me, I when I was it I think of ambassador because that's like the most recent, well, 2.0 I went diamond. That was very different, but I always talk about ambassador because that was really just my journey of like saying I was going to do it, going for it always, but it wasn't happening, but not because of me, you know? So what's stopping you from like getting that to that goal? Is I always ask myself, like, I never have that problem where I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it or am I not? I'm going to do it, am I not? I just go for it. And that's what you have to do too. Like you have nothing to lose, being so much more to gain, because once you go for the goal, but if you don't get to it, at least you're that much closer the next time. Okay. Like now my 2.0, I've been trying to go diamond for like a couple months now and it hasn't happened, but that's okay because I know that it's going to be on God's timing and when he's ready for me to get to that promotion. But also, you know, you have to just get over that fear of not being able to do it. Like, why can't you? And if it doesn't happen, that's okay too, because there have been so many times where I go for something and it doesn't happen. But at least I look back and I can say, okay, well, I put in all the work that I possibly could. And I didn't not promote because of me, you know, it's just because the timing wasn't right type thing, you know? So I think that you really have to, like, it goes back to having your goals again. Like your goals need to be strong enough and like willing to like do whatever it takes type thing. So you don't have those things in the back of your head, like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. So you have to just put that aside and just be laser focused on your goal and just do whatever it takes. Like, yeah, trust me, like I have my days too where, you know, I feel discouraged. Like I've been messaging all day. People are saying no, or they give me a follow up and I follow up and like they don't answer, but I snap out of that. And that's what you guys have to do as well. If you're like going for this goal and you're feeling scared or nervous or you think you can't do it, like you totally can. You just have to put the work behind it and rally up your team and work with your team, you know, and help them and work with them. And even if you don't have people working, who cares? Go enroll more and just do it. Just put in the work behind it, because there's nothing more like rewarding than like finishing off a month. Okay, yeah, you didn't promote, but like you look back, like I said, and say, okay, you know what? I put in everything I possibly could. Like I feel good now. And trust me, you'll be that much closer. So let me tell you guys a story. So in the new year, so last year I promoted to Diamond 2.0 when I opened my account, and then I kind of left my 2.0 account. So for those of you who don't know, when you go ambassador, our CEO gives us a 2.0 account. So it means you get to start all over again with a second account. So two checks. And I opened up my 2.0 last January. And then in February, I went diamond. So, and then I left my 2.0 because I felt like I had to go back to my 1.0 account, and I couldn't let go of not let go because my team's still there, but I feel like I couldn't I just feel like I couldn't unattach myself from my 1.0 chart. So I went back to my 1.0, left my 2.0, lost my rank there because I didn't have people working. I didn't place there anymore, so on and so forth. Fast forward this year, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to my 2.0. I need to let go of this fear of feeling like I can't walk away from my team because they're leaders. Like I've built amazing leaders within the past 5.5 years. Like they got this. They don't need me type thing right now, to be over there. So I had a goal of getting back to, I was paid as an executive on my 1.0, and I had a goal to get paid as a diamond again. And I remember every single month working towards it, not getting there. January, February, and then March, right? In March, I literally was like, this is it. This is the month. Like, I'm going to do it. And I think I was like 3,000 short. And 3,000 is not a lot, but I really did not have a lot of people working on there because I had just left it like alone. So it was really all me. So you know what? On the 25th, I could have been really freaking bummed that I had that much volume left and I could have given up on the 25th, right? But I didn't. And I worked really hard. And I think I finished off with, I didn't maintain in March, but I finished off with needing like 1250, like a couple hours before the month left, and I pushed until the last second. And then come April, I maintained like way before the 25th. But I wholeheartedly believe it was because I did not give up when I saw my rank on the 25th and how much volume I had left. Like I pushed until the very last second, and it set me up so good for the next month. And I maintained like way before the 25th, and I had way more volume. And I was then getting closer to my double promotion then. So I just encourage you guys to not give up and not to let these thoughts get in your head, and just to keep moving forward, because you can do it. Just don't try to like have yourself tell you can't, because you can.
Yeah, I always tell people like the amount of time you're spending wondering if you can do it, you could be spending doing something else that's going to get you further, like closer to your goal. Like the
Right.
amount of time that you're spending being like, oh, I don't know, like maybe I can't do it this month. Like maybe I shouldn't even try. Like just go for it. And if you don't get it, that's fine, but at least you're so much closer. Okay, so somebody said, how do you build your belief and work on your mindset when you're in a valley?
Okay. Well, I always like to use examples. So last year I was going through a really tough time. So my boyfriend and I had been together for 5 years, and we broke up last year. And then we had built this house together last year. And it was just something that I didn't want to live in by myself, and he didn't. So we had to get rid of it, so it was like a really tough time in my life for sure, because, this house that I had been working for the past 5 years, I put all my money into this house, and it was just something so special to me because it was my first house. It was something that I really was like, it was like my baby, and we were getting rid of it. And then we were going through this tough breakup, and I was kind of like in this weird, like phase of my life of like transition, like it was just tough because being with someone for that long, and transitioning to not, and then, you know, having so many memories, and like we had dogs together and things like that. I just knew that the next couple of months after I had gotten rid of my house and been living by myself, it was going to be tough and it was going to be weird. But, for me, like my faith helps me get through the toughest times, and I just really try to pray to God and like ask him to, and that was a big thing that helped me get rid of that relationship. It's just praying to God, asking for signs to remove negative things out of my life. If this is not something you want in my life right now, like make these things happen, because I'm that type of person that needs like the obvious of the obvious to be right in front of me to know, okay, this is not it type thing. So, my faith really got me through that tough time. But like I said, like I have no choice. Like my business is my income, and I I need this income, like it's not just me that depends on this, my team depends on me. My mom depends on me. Like I can't just hide and cry for 30 days and forget that I have a business and bills to pay and real life things that I have to deal with and move on. So for me, it's just really, I work my business no matter what is in my life going on, and yeah, sometimes it's like, I just feel like just sleeping for 12 hours, but I really just turn on some self-development. Sometimes I even get on power hours with my team to hang out with them, especially now during these weird times. Um, power hours with them, just hang out and just feel like we're together and just get my mind off things that are kind of rough in my life right now, and last year that's what I did. I really leaned into my friends, my family. I spent a lot of time with them. I was attending church every single Sunday and just really trying to listen and just grow my faith even more, because I knew that during these times, um, is when I really have to like lean into the Lord and just, practice my faith, because it's easy to have that faith when things are going good, but it's hard to when times are tough. And that's really when it gets tested. So for me, it was like I had to just, stay the course and just focus on my business and just redream again after kind of dreaming with my house and having everything and things were perfect, and then suddenly a switch went off and then they weren't, type thing, so redreaming again, having new goals because my life was going into a new chapter. You know, Even like regrouping with my team and my leaders and getting back with them and like, what are your goals for the next couple months? Like, let's work together. Let's keep each other accountable. So we had a lot of accountability chats. So I think that that's the best thing to do when you are in those tough times is redream. What are you really working towards? What's something that you really want? What's something that you really want to give back to? Who do you want to help? How much money do you want to have in your savings? Like that helps me is like redreaming, like having my goals written out again. Because I feel like sometimes not often do I have those things written out. And I feel like, okay, like I need to keep that in mind at all times to keep going and just really leaning into your friends, your family, getting on power hours with people. It helps so much. And, me and Cassie and Emily just kind of made an accountability chat actually this month, and it's been so good. So what we did is we put in a lot of our leaders in this chat, and every time we enroll, we put our enrollments in that chat and we share what we did to get that enrollment. And it's been like really working really well with our girls, and it's been pumping people up. Even people who aren't really consistent enrollers have been, because they've been taking those tips, exactly what people are doing to get those enrollments, and it's been helping them a lot. So I really just think that when you're in those hard times, you really just have to, pray, keep going, reevaluate your goals, get closer to the people that light your fire and keep you going, and, just work your business. For me, I feel like my business is like where I go to when like, it's like my escape when I do have my problems, so it's like, I'm working it no matter what, whether life is good or it's not. But I know a lot of people aren't like that. I know people are like, okay, like life is tough now, I'm going to put that off to the side. But then again, remember your goals and your dreams and why you got started. Because once you remember, oh crap, like, my family, my daughter, my kids, or even if you're single like me, myself, like, why did you get started? And always keep that in the back of your mind when things get tough.
Yeah, if you guys aren't noticing, there's a pattern. It all comes back to your why. If you're struggling with motivation, do you know your why? And I always tell people, ask yourself why like at least 5 times. Don't just be like, oh, I want money. Okay, well, why? What is that money going to do for you? So you have to know specifically why you're doing this, because not every day, I promise you, there's no top leader that wakes up every day and is like, I cannot wait to get a post to post. I cannot wait to message. I cannot wait to do everything. This is also fun. Like that is not how this works. If you're waiting for that day, you'll be waiting forever because it's never going to come. So a question that someone asked is, they said, what are 3 things that we can start doing tomorrow that has helped your team explode?
Okay, so one of them was that chat. That's definitely been a huge thing, is this chat that we came up with, because for example, if someone on your team's enrolling a lot, you're always, the question is how, like, what are you doing? Right. So this chat is great because everyone enrolling, like, will then, like right now, the chat's like going off. So, for example, Cassie just enrolled something and she posted, and right after she wrote what she did to enroll. She goes, 60 BV coffee host to post, got their info earlier, like a pre-order, like while they were waiting to get paid. And I said this, of course, I can take your info, lock in your discount, and hold the spot for you to order tomorrow. Does that sound good? You know, so we're literally sharing specifics of what we're doing, and it's been getting people excited. You know, I know some of my yellows on my team feel intimidated by that. Like my best friend Britt, like she's a yellow and she was like, I don't know how I feel about this chat because she's not competitive. You know, but she's like, also like, I like that, like put the competitiveness aside. Like I like the tips. Like I like that we're all coming together and like cheering each other on and excited for one another type thing, you know? So that's been working really good. Another thing is that, I'm really into screenshots with my girls. Like if you're not enrolling, but you're doing all the things, like you're messaging, you're posting, you're following up, you're doing host posts, like you're doing all the things, okay, then it's definitely your wording. So I have chats with my girls individually. So it's like, let's say my leader, Britt, she's a triple on my team. Okay. So me, Britt, and then one girl on her team will be in a chat. Me, Britt, and then another girl on her team will be in a chat. And I've been helping these girls with screenshots, and that's been helping so much because, you know, just a little bit here and there that you can tweak with wording can make a huge difference. And I've honestly noticed that the girls have been enrolling so much. I'm not saying that my wording's perfect, but maybe they needed to change one thing, or maybe push a little more, or maybe be a little more persistent with what they were doing with how I word things, that helped them enroll better and more and be more confident in what they're saying. So that's been working really well too. And what else? I mean, I don't really do anything different than what I like originally do, but I just think that one-on-ones too have been helping a lot. So like today I did 3 one-on-ones with my girls that were like overdue. I've been enrolling so many DTs this month, and it was like overdue to get on a one-on-one FaceTime call with them. Or if you don't want to do FaceTime, you can just call them, you know, and just kind of ask them if they have questions, ask them what they need from you. I think that has been helping so much too, is not me just throwing all this stuff at them, saying, okay, like, what do you need from me that I can help you? Because I don't want to sit here and give them all this info. You know, I want to help them with what they need. So like, what do you need from me? I can help you then. And we've been just kind of doing that. So one-on-ones, that big chat with our leaders and like our emerging leaders, and then the one-on-one conversations with my girls have been helping so much.
Yeah, I just started doing something with some of my newbies, and I've been asking them like, hey, how do you learn best? Because I think that's super important. If someone learns by reading and you send them videos, they're going to be lost. Like for me, I cannot learn listening to something. It does not work. It does not register. Like literally, if my husband tells me something, he's like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, I need to see it because it literally sounds like you're speaking French to me. I have no idea what you're saying. Like asking them that, because they don't want to tell you like, hey, I need to watch a video. Like reading doesn't, like, I can't comprehend it. They don't want to sound stupid. So ask that question and say like, hey, would you be best if I sent you something to read or sent you a video, or like what works best for you? So you said that you've been bringing in a ton of new distributors. Talk to us about that. How are you boosting your enrollments, your customers, your distributors? What are you doing?
Okay, so I finally, like, this kind of reiterates as to me being quiet and shy. Like I finally hopped on the reel and TikTok wagon. Okay. Like I was like, when TikTok came out, I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't like this because I don't want to get on it. Like, I don't want to do it, you know, and, you know, that's me being a hypocrite because I sit on Zooms and tell my team to do things that are uncomfortable and do things that get them out of their comfort zone. And here I am like avoiding this, and I avoided it because I found out about TikTok right before, I think it was in March when all this thing with COVID happened. And I was on TikTok scrolling at videos, watching people do dances, all this stuff, you know, but here I am not getting on TikTok for the right reason. So September came around and I was talking to Jade and I was like, I gotta just do it. Like, I really just have to get over this and just do it. So I made my first reel in September, and I've been really consistent with it. So like once I make a reel on Instagram, I'll then just save the video and post it on TikTok. And I've been really consistent with doing that. And honestly, it's helped so much because I've been getting a lot of applications from them. And one of my videos just went viral on TikTok. And that's definitely what has helped all my enrollments this month for sure with distributors. And I know this, and I kind of like feel iffy about saying these type of things because I always like to do things that are duplicatable to my team. And sometimes maybe this isn't duplicatable to someone because you're like me, you had this fear of doing this, but you know, I always had this thing in my mind that like, I don't know, maybe I had to learn a dance. I get on TikTok and reels and just point, literally. That's all I do is I point, I put wording on there, I tell my story and that's it. I'm not here to learn any dances or perfect anything, like you just have to get over that fear. So if you're like me, who was like, I can't get on a video like that. Like if you follow my Instagram, you know that I don't get on my stories and talk on videos. Like that's another thing is I don't get on, show my face. And that's something I should do because I'm just like so shy and those things make me uncomfortable. So I get where you're coming from if you're like me and you're uncomfortable about this. But I also was like, I have to hop on the trends because right now reels and TikToks are being favored way more than like a post. I still post every single day. But this is what like Instagram and TikTok is like getting out there. It's like pushing, like all my feed is on Instagram is reels. Like rarely do I see a picture. It's all videos. So I'm like, I just have to do this. And I just have to get over my fear of what? Getting on and looking stupid. Okay, whatever. Like I see so many videos of people who look funny and are doing funny things, but like I like that. It's funny, So what's my fear? Like my fear was just holding me back from doing great things in my business. So I finally got on TikTok and Reels and I did it and I just made the video and I've been doing them consistently like every couple of days and don't feel like you need to like get ready. Like sometimes I don't get ready, like most of my days, like I don't have makeup on. Like I washed my hair right before I got on here because it had been a couple days, but when I record my reels, I will change a couple outfits. Like I don't even change my leggings at the bottom. Like you can't even see them. I just change my shirt, acting like it's a new day. And sometimes I don't even, and I don't care. And I keep the same shirt on and I'll post the same different reels in the same shirt, things like that. But if you're someone like me that was uncomfortable with it, like just get out and do it. Like I'm telling you, you don't need to dance. I literally just point at things. You can go along with the beat and just have fun with it too, because I have been having fun with it. And I think that like, it was honestly the change I really needed in my business. I felt like I needed that certain like change. And that's what I got through doing these videos. So my enrollments with distributors, when I mentioned I have been enrolling a lot, have been from that. So, and like I said, I like to be honest, but I also don't want to make people feel uncomfortable and feel like they have to do this because you don't, like my enrollments, a lot of my enrollments still come from messaging and well, all my enrollments for customers come from messaging. And then if they tell me they don't have money, I say, okay, have you ever thought about doing what I do for an extra income? And I still enroll DTs that way as well. TikTok and Reels are just a plus on top of what I'm already doing.
Okay, I love that you said that because that's kind of what I wanted to transition into is because you have a very successful Instagram and I feel like for some people still Instagram is kind of intimidating. So I have like a multiple part question. 1, do you pre-plan content for your Instagram? 2, how have you grown your Instagram to be so large? And 3, how are you using it for messaging? And if you like need me to come back and re-say it, I can.
Yeah. So first one was, do I pre-plan? No, I don't. Like my stories are just so simple. Like I repost a lot of them and it's all my albums. I just will click post like that. None of that's like pre-planned. And like my reels, for example, like that's not pre-planned either. Like, like since I washed my hair tonight, I'm going to take advantage of that tomorrow. Like I know in my head that I'll get ready and do a reel tomorrow. And I'll do a couple so I can have them like for the weekend, because I won't be getting ready again for the next couple of days. Like that's just that's my pre-planning. But I'll do a reel tomorrow, and it's kind of like I'll go on and I'll kind of like look at some people's ideas. I'll look at some videos and see what I like, and then that I'll post. Like it's nothing like pre-planned where I'm thinking about already the song, what I want to say, things like that. It just comes as I go. And then, sorry, a text came in, so I got distracted. And then, so pre-planning, no. So I don't pre-plan anything. Everything just like, I wake up and I just post within that day.
Okay. And then how have you grown your Instagram? Like your following, your engagement, how have you grown that?
Well, it took time. You know, Cassie always used to make fun of me. And say like how slow I was with my followers. Like I started with like 300 and she had like 150 when she started her, like when she had her Instagram and we started the business, and she surpassed me by a landslide, literally. And I always made fun of her. I'm like, well, she always made fun of my followers because they were so low. They've grown more now, I think more because of TikTok and things like that. But I have just been really consistent with following people, and that's what has helped me get to my followers now. You know, with Instagram being like changing now, like it was so much easier to get followers, use apps, things like that. Not apps to get fake followers, but like Captivate, for example, it was an app a while ago that we would use to follow real people, and then you would store it, and then overnight it would go and cycle and follow those people for you. You know, now you can't use those apps, so it's like you have to manually do these things, and sometimes it blocks you. And you know, Instagram now is like so different than when I joined 5.5 years ago, but it's just being consistent. So my followers and my engagement really have grown from me just following people and them staying there because I message them, I grow a relationship with them, we talk. Some have been around since the day I joined, and some have been around for a little bit, but like my stories, like what they see. And I'm sure I would have much closer relationship with my potentials if I got on videos, you know, and shared more of my life as me as a person than a video, like, or a picture of something. But, you know, that's something I have to work on as well. But that's kind of just how I've grown my followers. Is nothing special. It's just me following people and being really consistent with that every single day. And like I said, it's taken time. I would probably be way further. Like I remember when I first joined the business, like Cassie was really focused on growing her followers, right? And I was more like messaging and posting. So I forgot to follow. I genuinely was like, forgot to follow people. And it's like within a week, Cassie had like 1,000 new followers. And I was still at 300. I'm like, oh my God, like, how'd you get that? She's like, are you not following? I'm like, no, that's it. I haven't been. Like, I've just been so focused on messaging and posting and talking to people that I forgot to do that, you know. So it would have grown much faster if I had like not been like so off about that in the beginning. But it's really just following people, and you get to follow back. It's literally that simple. I talked to someone on a one-on-one today, and she's like, how do I grow my followers? I'm like, you follow someone and they follow you right back. She goes, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So really, that's just it. That's all I do.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I miss Captivate. I forgot about that app. It made life so much easier. I was like, you said, I'm like, oh, this is the best. Okay. So, real quick, do you have your Instagram private or public? And has it always been that way?
So it had always been private. And I don't even know why it's now public. I have no idea.
Was it for TikToks and Reels? Because that's what I was told to make it public for Reels.
Maybe that's, I don't know. I think that maybe was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it was, because it's only been public for a couple months. So, and I started TikToks and Reels a couple months ago. So yeah, I think that's it. But it had literally always been private, always. Yeah. And it's not because like, I don't know, I had this thing where I felt like I would get more followers if I was private, because but it was probably just all in my head because I would see the request. But either way, people were following me anyways. But now it's public.
Okay. Yeah, that's the exact same mindset I had. I'm like, okay, but I see their request, so that means I'm
right.
Like the same thing. Okay, so you said that you're messaging a ton, which I know scares a ton of people. So can you talk to us about like, who do you message? How much do you message? Is there a specific script that you feel like works for you? Like all the things messaging.
Okay, so I have always messaged, like always. I remember being in a college class, and me and Cassie we had just messaged like people who liked our photo, but and this was like way back then, when you literally, like when it was Instagram days, when you could post like 5-6 times a day on your feed, and it was like, okay, but so that's why we would message our likers, but at one point I was like, I want more, like I want more out of this. Like, what can I do to grow my enrollments more? And I was like, and I remember texting Cassie, and like, we still tell this story. And I remember texting her and saying, I'm going to go through my followers and I'm just going to message people who follow me. I'm going to do it 10 at a time so I don't get blocked. And she's like, oh, that seems like a lot of work. Like, good luck. And I was like, okay. And that night I enrolled 4 customers. Like, that was the first time I ever had enrolled like more than 1 in a day. And I was like, oh my God. And she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm messaging my followers. So I remember, and then I get their number right away. So I message them, they answer, and I say, what's your number? I'll text you. I'll put it here. I have it here. What's your number? I'll text you all about it. So much easier than DM. And then I was like, okay, because also DMs was like, it was like long process between like a couple days of them getting back to me, things like that. And I was like, you know what? I should just ask for their number, get their number, and text them. And that's what I do. So I text them and I say, hey girl, it's Nayara from Instagram. And then I say, so first tell me some things you might be interested in. And I send that. And I know, and this is like an older thing because it doesn't have all the new updated things, but I don't change it because from this script, I know it doesn't have our skincare and I know it doesn't have a lot of our products, but from this, they can kind of tell me what they want. And then from there, I know what to offer them more of. If they say weight loss, I say coffee, greens, thermophyte. If they say, oh, I'm looking something for skin, I'm like, great, we have an entire skincare line. And then I go over everything with them. And then they kind of pick and choose from there, depending on their goals and what they want for their skin. If they're like, I need energy, I'm like, wow, I have a perfect product for that. And then I offer the keto energy, so so I get their number right away, right when they respond. And then I say, hey, it's Nayara from Instagram. And then I send that. What is your initial message? You don't have to share it. I'll share it. I don't have it on text replacements though. I say, hold on. It is, hi girl, I know this is random, but I was looking at your page and was curious if you would like to be a product tester for me. You would be amazed by our products and you would get an awesome discount for doing so. Would you be interested? And it's literally just that. And then they say whatever they say. And then I ask for their number. And sometimes if they don't answer, I say, did I catch you at the wrong time? So yes, product tester message. Yes. So I've done this since 2017, like the same message, and I have not changed it. Because I'm also like, I don't like to change what's working. And sometimes that bites me in the butt because I have to get with the times, but like, I know this message works. And sometimes when I do change it, I don't get as many responses. So I keep this message simple. Sometimes I change the hey girl and put their name, kind of depending on whether I'm in a rush messaging or if I have some time, to be more intentional with it. But, some people are scared because they're like, oh, like we don't know each other, build relationships. And I'm totally about building relationships, but I think that I can build my relationship with someone once I get their number, because a lot of people will open up. They'll be like, I've been struggling so much with weight loss and I've been struggling so much with this and that. And then that's how we build our relationship that way. Me helping them with a product that I believe that will help them with that. And that's how we grow our relationship. So yeah, we might not have a relationship when I first message them, but once I get their number, like it's like we're friends because you gave me your number, so that's kind of how I have a mindset of growing relationships. Like I've never done like conversation before messaging, none of that. Like I jump right into it, ask for their number, and that's how we grow that way, and then some of them become my distributors because they love the product so much. Some of them will send me pictures of them in their bra and thong and be like, oh my God, I lost so much weight. Like, I'm so excited, and that's how I grow my relationship with my customers. I don't do anything before that. Just because I don't know, I've always just messaged and I never really thought about the before factor because I know that after I can build something strong with them or during, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so talk to us numbers. I don't know if like, do you know how many messages you send a day? Do you know your ratio of like how many people answer and how many people order? Like, do you know those things? Because I know a lot of times with people, when they start messaging, they're like, oh, I sent out 10 messages and no one answered. And then they get automatically discouraged. So Can you tell us a little bit about those numbers if you know them? Like how many you send, who answers, and how many you sign?
Okay, this was a conversation I was having with one of my girls today. For example, like if I do 10 at a time. So if I message 10 people, maybe 4 will respond, okay? And then maybe 2 will give me their number. So out of those 10, I only got 2 numbers. So like if you're messaging 10 and you're saying, oh my God, I'm not enrolling, well, that's why. Like, you need to double that. Cause then if you message 20, I said 4 people answered. So then 8 people will answer and then 4 will give you their number. It'll always double and it'll always grow the more you message. So I know it's sometimes unrealistic for people. I do probably around 100 messages a day. I have help with my messages too. I have an assistant that does help me do this because I also believe that time is money. So I have someone that's helping me do that, while I can do other things. So I know sometimes for people it is unrealistic to do that, which is totally fine. And that's why I do love host to post too, because host to post, you can put up a post, you can have people post for you, leave it alone, go get to work, go take care of your kids, and have this post blow up, have all these comments, and then sit down and have all these people to talk to. So if messaging 100 people is unrealistic for you, like wheeze into it, like do like maybe 40, which is only 4 times a day. So you can do it morning, midday. So you can do like morning, like early morning, mid morning, lunchtime, nighttime. 40 people. That's still a great start. And then if you feel like you have more time, do 10 more, like 2-3 hours later, so it just depends on your days. I don't want you to feel like, oh my God, I need to message 100 people a day. Like I do that because I have help and I do this full time. So my life is so much more different now. But like when I was first starting, I would probably get like maybe 45 to like 60 messages out. Like I said, I would get up earlier. I would stay up later. So I would like make time to do these things. And I always had a checklist too, because I would write down what I had to do. And like, if I didn't do something that day, I would look at it and be like, okay, like I didn't follow up today, for example. Like, what am I going to do tomorrow so I can make sure to get in all my tasks in? Like, do I have to get up 10 minutes earlier tomorrow to make that happen type thing? So I'm very a checklist type person. And that's what really helped me in the beginning too, stay organized, so I had my tasks that I did. And once I did them, I checked them off. And then what wasn't checked off, I would kind of figure out in my head, okay, like what can I do tomorrow to make sure I do these tasks? And if you don't do them, like don't beat yourself up for it. Just figure out tomorrow, the next day, like how you can be better at that. So like I said, if the number I gave you intimidates you, that's fine. Like do 40, do 50, do 60. Always do more than what you're doing though. Like if you're only sending out 10, you can totally do more than 10. Because even me being busy, like when I first started this, I would message way more than just 10, but you have to kind of figure out your timing, like get up earlier, go to bed later. Instead of taking that nap while you're on the couch, like don't nap, lay on the couch, relax, but don't take that nap, because at that time that you're napping, you could be using to grow your business. If something's distracting on the TV, like, like I love Bachelor nights, so I don't not watch things or do things because like of the business, but like always prioritize. Like if something is really distracting and it's not really important to you, turn it off the TV. So you're not like sitting there, like paying attention to that and not working, if you have limited time. For me, who I have a lot of time in the world, because this is what I do full time, I can do certain things and like, watch certain things because it's not gonna be like, oh, I have limited time, but if you do have limited time and then you're that person that's like time crunch on a schedule, kind of let go of certain things that aren't filling your cup or helping you grow your business and aren't income producing, and put in the income producing activities with your business.
Okay, so I have a question for the greens that are on here. I am not a green, but I know they're thinking this. How do you keep track of like who you message? Do you unfollow them if they don't answer? Like, how do you go through that? Like choosing who to message, what to do if they don't answer, those types of things.
Right. So I used to have a system when we used to get a lot of followers, now I don't. So it's kind of like unsend, resend type thing. Like I unsend the message, resend it, and I change it up. I don't say, hi, no, this is random, because that's how I start when I first initially message. And then I change it up and say, hey, I know I reached out to you before, but the offer still stands. I would love for you to try the products at my discount. Are you still interested? And that's kind of like an unsend. So it's like someone I already talked to, I unsend, resend. But usually what I do is just go to my followers list and start from the top and work my way down. If I have like a couple new followers that are brand new that just followed me, I wait maybe a day or two to message them. But I really just go down my list until I don't have, like, let's say I got 10 new followers, right? So lucky me, I get to message 10 new people with my cold message. And then I go to my 11th person, and that 11th person I message maybe like in March. I can unsend that message and resend a new one to them. There's really no specific thing that I do. I know, I'm sorry, because like the greens are definitely like, oh my God, but I need like a system. And I'm like, I'm not like that. And I try not to overcomplicate things for this reason, because I want it to be super simple and easy. But just go down your followers list and just message bam, 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 bam. And then you kind of will go down again, and then you do remember where you left off, or you can screenshot where you left off and kind of circle it. So the next person, you can do it that way. But I do visually remember where I left off. And if you don't, you can just click the name and then go to message and see who you messaged last and kind of go from there. Don't take too much time to like get into like a certain system, because you want this to be easy, because you want it to fit into a schedule of someone who's busy, who has kids, who's working, who's going to school, and not something hard, because then you're not going to be able to duplicate it to your team. But literally just go down your followers list and start messaging. That's what I do.
Yeah, it's if you have like this massive system, you're not gonna
Yeah.
just pick up and send the messages on a dime, because you're gonna have to go pull up the document and figure out this stuff. Like, just send them.
Yeah.
So do you just like, if you unsend it, do you send them a new message right away, even though they get notified that you unsend a message?
Yeah, I mean, I do. No
Okay,
shame.
I do too. And some people
Whatever.
are like,
Or sometimes you can change it up and not unsend, resend. You can leave the message there, and you can kind of change it up and say, hey, I know I reached out before. I still have this discount for you type thing, where it's like you can keep the first message, but you change it up and send a different message. But if it's been like 2-3 years that I haven't talked to them, I'll unsend the message and resend the same one I unsent. And who knows? Sometimes, honestly, I don't get notifications on my actual phone. If you don't have like your settings set up, like you won't know that they unsent, resent. Like my boyfriend does, like he gets Instagram notifications on his phone. I don't. So he can see Nayara unsent this message. But if you're like me, who doesn't have your Instagram notifications, you won't know if I unsent or resent a message.
yeah, and I think that with the new update, it doesn't even tell you the name of who unsent it. It just says like somebody
Right. Unsent. Right.
Yeah, so it could be anyone. So, okay, one last tip. Like, it's been an hour. It's been great. I have like so many notes. What is one last tip you could give to everyone who's either working on a promotion, they're brand new? Like, what is one last thing you would tell them?
You know, just be consistent. Like that's my biggest tip, is consistency, because it's so funny because people always ask me like, what's your secret? Like, what do you do? Like, and I genuinely don't have a secret, but if I were to have a secret, it's consistency over time, because I have literally been consistent with my business during the worst days, during the best days, during the laziest days, through it all. And that is something that I can say that I have wholeheartedly done every single day with my business, even when I don't even feel like showing up. Like, I have those days, but I still do it and I don't make excuses for it. Like today, I was just complaining to my boyfriend before I got on here. I'm like, I have had this lingering headache all day long. All I wanted to do today, it's been raining here, it's cold. All I wanted to do was just lay on my couch and like nap for 3 hours, and I didn't. I just showed up for my business. I posted stories, I posted a reel this morning. Like I still did the things, even though I didn't feel like doing it. And you just have to have that in you. And some people don't. And that's why they're not where they want to be. And then they wonder, and Like if I could instill my consistency into people who don't have that, like I for sure know that they have what it takes to be successful. And all they have to do is just be consistent through the process. Like I can't think of one day where I haven't done my things with my business. You know, I take this seriously. This is my income. You know, it pays my very expensive bills. And if I don't have this income, I'm homeless type thing, you know? And if you live your life thinking like that and like having your goals and working hard towards what you want and then being able to get what you want, and now it's like, you know, you can't slack because what are you going to do if you don't get paid type thing, and take it seriously like you would any other job, you will make this work. So it's all about consistency, because there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing that I can give you tip wise on this Zoom that you can go and take on and do and put in that work. But if you do it for one day and like you take all my tips and you take the scripts and you take the wording, all that, and you do it for one day, what's the point? Like you're not going to see you're not going to reap the benefits if you're not doing that consistently over time and doing the same things over and over and over again. Because being here almost 6 years later, like I have done the same things over and over again. Yes, I've added new things like reels, TikToks, stories, things like that, because you know, you kind of have to stick with the times and things change and social media is always evolving. But it's consistency that's gotten me to where I am today. And, you know, like I said, it's not been perfect. It's not been great, like all the time, you know, but it's worth it because, you know, like the friendships I have made, forget, I know I'm red, but like forget the money, because yeah, money's great, but like the freedom that this business gives you, like 2 weeks ago, I was able to go to California and spend 2 whole weeks there, you know, with obviously not having to worry about anything. You know, we were at my boyfriend's parents' house and we were able to stay there and spend time with them. I didn't have to take time off. I didn't have to miss out on anything. I didn't have to miss out on pay. I was able to work my business from there and take my business with me wherever I go. And that's the biggest thing about this, is the freedom that it gives you. So, you know, that is way too precious for me to give that up and not be consistent enough in my business and in my life with the things that I want. So I'm going to push through that and I'm going to be consistent every single day. And if you are too, like you will get to where you want to be. Maybe it won't be at the time that you want, because trust me, I haven't gone to my goals and my dreams when I wanted to. You know, it takes time and it takes consistency and it takes not giving up. But if you still do the things and you still show up, like you will get there. And that's what's gotten me to where I am today for sure.
Oh my gosh, this was so good. Thank you so much for taking time tonight to hang out with us, to preach to us, to give us all your tips, even though you had a headache. Headaches are the worst. I cannot function with them. But I am so appreciative of you. So you guys, everyone that's on, I will put this up on my YouTube tonight and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.